Hi everyone, welcome. We are the Kennedys, and this is show number 87.
Yeah.
87.
Wow.
Do you like our masks?
These are great.
So one of our weekly viewers, Donna Weber, last week she was driving up from Florida all the way up to New England, and she wrote and she said that since the beginning of the pandemic she's been making masks just nonstop for people, and she wanted to give some to us. And she asked, if she could just drop them off at the post office. And we suggested, well, why don't we meet you on the street? We'll share a cup of coffee. And we got to meet her right in our own little town. And she made these gorgeous masks.
These are great.
They have lanyards on the back and everything.
They're engineered. They're adjustable in so many different ways.
She customized them for good fit and everything. She started with one pattern and kept on going. Anyway, how great is that?
Thank you, Donna.
Thank you, Donna. And let us know if you can hear us, or if we're just like waving our arms around at you. Before we get going, we'd like to do that. If you are not subscribed, please do so. There should be a subscribe button down there. What is this? I'm seeing something. Oh, I see that. I'm going to adjust this because you can see our table. There we go. Hit the subscribe button. Sound is great. Excellent. And because we just hit our 4,000th subscriber last week.
Yeah.
And we love when that happens.
Yeah.
The more the merrier, I always say. And we're going to start off with, now these are all requests, and some of your requests will come in during the show, but we're going to start off with a request. Angie Hardy in the Midlands, in fact, I've been chatting with her before the show. She asked for this song, and she says, I'm so fond of the album 500,000 Miles, and of course the title song. The story of the Kennedys meeting was my intro to your music when I found you on YouTube just a few months ago by chance. We love when that happens. Being able to play all your great music has kept me happy and inspired during the pandemic. I don't know how I would have coped without it. All right, Angie. Well, we're going to start the whole show with our song just for you, 500,000 Miles.
It was a rainy night in Texas. The river was running high. Anyone with any sense was inside staying dry. The rain came down like hammered gold and rendered all things new. Like a Colorado overflow down Congress Avenue. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, 500,000 miles. In a funky rock and roll bar, a man and a woman sat, while the rain poured down with the dim, deep sound, but they paid no mind to that. They talked about the old songs, they wrote one that was new. They sang it to Roy Orbison and Ricky Nelson too. Round 10 traveling years is a mighty long, long while. When the long road stretches out ahead, 500,000 miles. When the sun come up next morning on the sinners and the saved, a pickup headed down the road toward Buddy Holly's grave. In the lonesome town of Lubbock, where Buddy's bones did lay, their hearts were cut with diamonds on that strange and fateful day. Round, round 10 traveling
You know, during these songs, I glance down at the chat window, and sometimes you people crack me up. Like, oh, I wonder if I can find that one. Oh, this one. I'm going to actually show this on the screen. This came over from Facebook. I hate it when my G.I. Joe smelled like patchouli. I don't know what that means exactly, but it's hilarious.
We had a lot of requests for that song.
We did get, and actually, a few weeks ago, somebody posted a comment and said, "Oh, the Kennedys, I like their show so much, and they always have good information about, backstory about songs, especially songs that they write, but songs that other people write too." And they said they should have a show on Sirius XM. And this person didn't know that we did have a show for 4.5 years on Sirius before it merged with XM, and it was called the Dharma Cafe, and that was our theme song.
The theme song.
We are going to take just a second here at the top of the show so that we can concentrate on the music from here on out. And this is where we put out our hat, because this is our one show every week and has been for the whole duration of the pandemic, with the exception of a couple of outdoor shows we had back in the summertime. And this is what keeps food on our table. So we humbly thank you for your tips, which you can, and they're optional, but you can send in tips to us at venmo.com/the_Kennedys. Or if you prefer PayPal, you can use paypal.me/thekennedysmusic. And you can also send to our P.O. box, or if you want to use Zelle or one of those things, just go to our website, kennedysmusic.com, and you'll see on the right-hand side of the screen a tip jar. Just click on that tip jar, and it'll show you all the options for tipping. And we thank you from the bottoms of our hearts, because you are so valuable to us, just you being here, and we hope that our music enhances your life as well. All right, onward. We're going to do this next song for Joanne Mitchell.
Joanne and Andy, what great people.
In fact, she sent me these for my birthday. These little, you probably can't even see them. They're little dancing people.
She's a really great artist too.
She is. Artist. She didn't make these. Some folks in Africa made these out of all recycled wires and things like that. So very, very cool. And we're going to do this for her. She asked for this one, and I think we've only done this a couple times. This is from our Safe Until Tomorrow album, I believe.
Yeah.
Right?
The backstory of this is sometimes we'll write a song as if it was written by one of our idols.
Yes.
If they were somehow still around. And,
yeah.
This would be a Buddy Holly.
This is our Buddy Holly-ish song. It's called Lock It.
My heart is just a broken locket. It's tarnished with loss and with pain. It may never be able to open again. For every time I would unlock it and let it slide
Yeah, I like that one.
You might know that our first date was at Buddy Holly's grave.
That's right.
As a matter of fact, in Lubbock, Texas. And I remember playing at Colston Hall in Bristol, over in the UK. And they have on the front of I think it's on the front of the balcony, so you see it while you're on stage, the names of different people that played there. It's like Maurice Ravel and
Yeah.
stuff. And Buddy Holly is one of them. And it's
That's
so
right.
inspiring to be singing and look up and be reminded that Buddy Holly was standing on the
Same spot.
He trod the boards where you are.
This next song we're going to send to a couple people. We're going to send this one out to Jill Seagraves, one of our dearest, oldest friends who watches the show with her husband Don every week. And for my birthday, she gave me some little green bottles that she dug up. I love the thrill of the hunt when you're looking for these things and you know where to look. And
You and Jill are both people who dig up little green bottles.
we are. I know, my sister. So we're also going to send it to Ilsa in the Midlands because she asked for this song, in the Midlands of England, I should say. And she said that this is a song that we wrote during the pandemic year. And in fact, we wrote this right after the last bit of touring before the pandemic shut things
Yeah.
down. We were down in Florida in February, just before the March shutdown. And we wrote the song then. It's not on any album. It will be eventually. But Ilsa writes, this song reminds me of summers at the beach and finding sea glass and listening to waves and feeling the sand between our toes. Memories of wonderful times. Well, I share those wonderful memories too. And when I sing this song, it puts me right back in Florida where we wrote it. This is called Little Green Bottles. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Edge of the Swan, St. Augustine. I watch the trains roll by on the other side through the back porch screen. I see the herons fly and the swamp grass sway, and I could sit right here for the rest of the year just to live this way. And find the little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. I love the little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. There's an island in the middle. I like to take a canoe and find that little brown shack someone lived in back when the town was new. But as the city grew up and the shack fell down, paddled away and the city said, hey, we got a dumping ground now. And now there's little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. I love them little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. Now the train is loaded 5 days a week, and the men in charge load it all on a barge and send it out to sea.
Go on, Pete.
when the people were few and the trash they threw was a friendlier kind. So I pull on my boots, I grab an old tin pail, I wade into the brine of the muddy floodline, and I never fail to find the little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. There's always hope. Little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles, little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. I love the little green bottles that wash up onto the shore. That was a wild solo, Pete.
Well, when my dad taught me how to play pool, he taught me about body English.
Yeah.
That's when you shoot and you hit the ball, and while the ball's moving, you kind of do things like this. You move around.
The air helps to move.
I don't know what it is, but somehow
It's
you
an
send
attitude.
energy to, and sometimes when you're playing a solo, especially with the slide, you have to do body English.
You have
do
to.
like certain,
You got to ride that
you
wave.
got to kind of contort yourself to get the right note.
Well, it sure is entertaining to watch. I'll say that.
Yeah,
I think
it
I
may
speak
not
for us
sound
all.
good, but it's entertaining.
What do we have next? Oh, Vicki Davis asked for this one. And so did Luke Holland asked for this one too. And down it goes. We have so
Bring up
many
another one.
bounceable instruments.
Yeah, that one bounces pretty good.
This is a song, we did a whole 25th anniversary show. Actually, when the pandemic struck, we were in the middle of a River of Fallen Stars 25th anniversary tour. Actually,
That's right,
we
yeah.
weren't even in the middle of it. We were at the very beginning of it.
Yeah,
And it got
we're
shut
gonna
down.
Play the whole album.
So one of our earlier shows, we did the whole album in sequence. River of Fallen Stars, our first album. But Vicki and Lou asked us to do the title track, so we love when that happens. So this is for them. This is a song of ours we wrote in Ireland. We were it was back when we were touring with Nancy Griffith, before we had our own albums out, before we had written that much. And Nancy asked us to be her opening act for that tour. This is way back in 1993. And luckily for us, we were, when you're traveling to a place that's exotic to you anyway, the creative juices really start to flow. And that happened for us.
Yeah.
And so all these songs on the first album came out of that tour with Nancy Griffith.
Yeah,
So we're going to send this to her memory. This is The River of Fallen Stars.
the four.
There are poles in the seaweed down by the snow cross. Northern and mossy, they will echo off the star. And the jangle poets sing their song.
love the sustain.
Yeah, you gotta let that one kind of fade
Don't
out
even look at
slow.
it. I'm quoting Spinal Tap. I love that. I love the way you play that, and the sound that you get is such an interesting sound to me. I've mentioned this before when we've played it, but Pete usually doesn't use effects, except for the songs on that album. He featured the acoustic guitar going into a distortion pedal, from there into a wah-wah pedal.
Well, I mean, at the time, I didn't use effects on electric guitar,
But
but
only
I
on
did use
acoustic.
them on acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of the opposite of everybody else.
And the
But that's
thing-
how you get different.
It's different
Different
sounds,
sounds,
palettes.
you know?
But the thing I love about that, I always thought of distortion as being like a heavy metal sound, and wah-wah as being like a funk sound. But when you feed the distortion into the wah-wah, what happens is the distortion just basically adds,
Well, it adds higher harmonics.
harmonics.
That's what it does.
and then the wah-wah pedal kind of sweeps through those harmonics.
Yeah.
So that's how you get that beautiful. But you do it like
get
you don't do the.
different- So different notes, real high notes.
Yeah.
The fundamental note is the same, but the high notes
Sweet.
change.
And you sweep it slow with that wah-wah.
And then if you do a banjo roll, doing a Scruggs forward roll.
Yeah, very slow with it.
Also back then I was listening to a lot of like Steve Reich and Philip Glass and stuff like minimalist music, and you know it's like kind of an African thing to get one groove. And then
Yeah.
you change chords
I do
while I
over
keep
that.
going.
Because my chords change, it changes the quality of where that note falls in or around this chord.
Right, yeah.
The other thing I love about the wah-wah, a little factoid, most people think of wah-wah as like kind of funk, and that wah-wah style is a fast wah-wah. And you're cascading
It's
it very
using it as a
slowly.
filter. Like
Yeah.
if you were doing a like you studied synthesizers, you would turn a knob to filter,
Right.
change the filter of the harmonics above the note. You just use the wah-wah pedal to do the same thing.
People like this kind of discussion, I've been told. Some of you might not know what we're talking about, and that's okay. We're going to get back to the music right now. And we're going to send this next song out to Terry Schick. Terry's had a tough week this week. Her husband is in the hospital. Her mom fell and broke her hip. And she asked for this song because, not for herself, but for all the people who helped to lift her up this week, the people who took care of her animals while she was gone, her pets, people who helped her, and just to help, and people who were there to listen to her because she was dealing with a lot and still is. So we're going to send this one out to Terry, and it's called I'll Come Over. 1, 2, 3, 4. Times are hard around you, and your heart's breaking for a while. It takes so long to work it out. It feels like you're crawling every mile.
never end. And everything was easier. And broken things couldn't mend. But you don't have to face it alone. It's too much to handle, I know. Just pick up the phone, honey, I'll come over. Love, nothing but love. Your heavy heart needs nothing but love. Love, no, you don't have to face it alone. It's too much to handle, I know. Just pick up the phone, honey, I'll come over. Love, nothing but I'll come over. Love needs nothing but I'll come over.
You don't have to face it alone. I think that's what this whole Sunday thing that we do here is all about, because I know all the folks who tune in and participate in the chat, either over on YouTube or on Facebook. Everyone is so supportive of each other and always willing to encourage each other, and I love that about this community. It's just wonderful.
They're welcoming to any new people.
Yes,
And then anybody who's part of the community who's having
trouble.
trouble, that needs support, they're
Right there. We love you all so much. And we're going to dedicate this song to Terry's husband, Art. Art is in the hospital right now, and but he loves this song. It's another one of those songs that I wrote this one, and it's a Buddy Holly-ish song by way of, I was listening at the time to Any Trouble. Any Trouble put out a reunion album, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago.
Was that Clive Gregson?
Yeah. And I loved just the smart and funny, clever lyrics, but also the Buddy Holly influence. So this is a song influenced by Any Trouble who were influenced by Buddy Holly. Does that make sense? Probably not. But we're going to send this to Art and wish for his recovery. And it's called Make It Last. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Your kisses on my mind both night and day, and I try to clear my head, but it won't go away. 'Cause your face is unforgettable in my imagination best. If I only get one kiss, I'm gonna make it last. Everybody's rushing through this
I love playing a Buddy Holly beat.
Yeah.
You know, it's harder to do when you're sitting down. Because I always teach my, my rhythm guitar students when you're playing something fast like this,
Were you
it's
doing
easier to do when you're standing up and dancing.
Were you doing the Peggy Sue beat in there?
Hell
anywhere?
yeah.
Yeah.
That's fun. I love doing that. You feel like you're on a carnival ride when you play that beat somehow.
Paul McCartney said Buddy Holly was the real icon. He said Elvis sang, Duane Eddy played guitar. And, Elvis played a little bit, but Buddy Holly was great at everything: singing, playing guitar, and songwriting.
And you know what I love about Buddy Holly? Whenever he took a solo, he just played rhythm. He just played rhythm solos.
Yeah, but it's so driving.
Driving. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of driving, well, Pedro from in south of Spain watches every week. He's a dedicated viewer, and
yeah.
he asked us to play this song, which is also in the key of A if you're playing along at home. I know a lot of you play along at home.
Oh, good.
And this is a fun song. We did this. Was this on our Life is Large album?
Yes.
This is on our Life is Large album. We've done so many. I think we have 24 albums between our solo records and our side projects and everything.
I don't always remember either, but I do remember this
It's.
one.
I think it's 24 albums. Anyway, this song's for Pedro. It's called Mystery. 1, 2, 3, 4. You've always been so cool. You never want to play the fool. When I'm feeling down, you pick me up and turn me around. Never missed a day of school. Did you walk right off the street? You are not. I can't believe I'm not imagining things. It's a movie mystery. Did you walk right off the screen? You're always dressed to kill. Never leave a doubt who's king of the hill. When you cruise the drag, your stereo could wake the dead, but you don't care, you live for thrills. Did you walk right off the screen? I can't believe I'm not imagining things. It's a movie mystery.
You know where you wrote that? In Hollywood.
Yes, we did.
We were staying out there, and I think that's how those movie
Yeah, we had all the
stuff
movie.
crept in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've
Staying
we've
in
been
a
on a
little
movie.
bungalow.
We've been on a movie kick lately. You know, there's so much shoot 'em up, blow things up kind of movies out there. Which I don't know. I don't really like the dark stuff, especially when we're all dealing with dark stuff in real life. So we've been really looking for quiet movies, And we watched. I'd never seen Tender Mercies before with Robert Duvall.
So great.
If you're looking for a nice, quiet, kind movie, watch that one. And then Robert Duvall was so great in that we binge watched the 4-episode mini-series of Lonesome Dove, the original one.
Amazing.
Again, Robert Duvall. I mean, if you're looking, we always exchange ideas, movies, books, and
Also,
stuff.
the Mr. Rogers. Is
Wonderful
that
Day
his
in
name?
the or Beautiful
Yeah.
Day in the, yeah, that was nice too.
That was really good too.
Yeah.
With Tom Hanks.
Yes. Okay, well, our friend Mike Farrow wrote, and he remembered that when the day my dad died, I visited him. I didn't know he was going to die that day. We sang Moon River together, and just a few hours later, my dad passed away. And Mike wrote to say that his dad just died, and it was a long week and a half or so of decline, but Mike would sing songs to his dad, and the day his dad died, he sang Moon River to him as well. And his brother, one of his brothers, was listening, and he asked Mike if he was singing their dad across the river. And, I don't think Mike thought of it at the time, but it's come to represent that for him, and it's certainly come to represent that for me. And we wanted to do the song for Mike, even though it's not a Kennedy song. It's near and dear to our hearts. And we practice it, and again, I'm just not ready to sing it yet. So Pete has agreed to do an instrumental version for you, Mike.
To you, Mike.
Sending lots of love and light to you, Mike, and your family. Well, we got to bring it up a little bit, and this is a song, probably two of our most rock and roll loving weekly viewers must be Steve Viola and Vicki Davis, who both asked for this song.
Rock and roll guitar players too, both of them.
And both rock and roll good. That's probably why they like it. You could play along in the key of
Play
A.
along. Key of A.
Line running red lights for you. Take a hairpin turn on Deck Man's Curve in a 48 Packard coupe. It's crazy, but it's true. Line running red lights for you. Line running red lights for you. Let 'em say what they want, don't care what they say, 'cause you know I'm still your
I am going to show y'all a picture because last week, first of all, thank you all so much for sending in so many requests for our own songs. The last 5 or 6
Yeah.
weeks, we've done all other people's songs. And it's good to know that you like ours too. But last week we did our Grateful Dead tribute because it was Halloween, Day of the Dead. And so Keith sent in a request that we dedicate Ripple to his grandkids, and Arthur and Ren. And he sent me a photo of Arthur reacting to his,
you announced
long distance dedication.
When you announced
Isn't
the
that great?
dedication,
I love that face. And you can see he's watching our show there on the right hand side of the screen. What a great face. Arthur, you rock.
you rock, Arthur.
Well, we got a couple more songs to do for you. John Martucci, one of our good friends, asked for this one. And a lot of folks have asked for this one over the past many weeks. It's one of our favorites. And I remember this is one of, Nancy Griffith told us that it was one of her favorites of the songs that we've written.
That's right, yeah.
I'll never forget that moment, actually. We just come off stage opening for her.
Yeah.
And
And we made the record, the Slambovians sang the backup part at the end, so
Yes.
maybe you all can
be
be
Slambovians.
honorary Slambovians.
Alrighty.
Can you feel a song rising up? Can you hear the language of love? Can we walk together the winding road up to the rising sun? Oh, was a time when we could only see waves of grain from sea to shining sea. Now the world is smaller, but our dreams are larger than they used to be. Whoa, come on and stand. Come on now, stand. Come on and stand. Plant your soul
Yeah, that's for John Martucci and everyone who's been asking for that one lately. We're going to play one more song for you. We want to tell you about next week. You may already have guessed. So many of you sent in so many requests, we can't possibly get to them all. And we love playing our own songs. We love playing all kinds of songs. So we're going to do it again next week. And if you didn't hear your request, you might hear it next week. I want to say happy birthday to Lauren Raphael, who just showed up on the chat.
Oh,
because it
great.
was her birthday a couple days ago.
Oh, great. Yeah.
Our friends there, rocking the res. And this last song, we're going to send this one out to Toril in Oslo. And she writes that Safe Until Tomorrow has been a gift to me, she says. Her mother was just diagnosed with dementia. And she said she's so grateful for this beautiful song. She says, I find it helps with keeping my heart soft to her. I know what that means because my mom had Alzheimer's too, and it was frustrating. It was keeping your heart soft is a practice, you know. So much love to you, Toril, and much love to everyone who's going through the
Caregiving.
the honor of caregiving.
Yeah,
I think it is an honor to take care of your parents the way they took care of us when we were helpless little babies. So for Toril in Oslo and for all of our friends, thank you so much for listening. And this is Safe Until Tomorrow. 2, 3, 4.
You watched the fire burn on the hillside. Thought you were safe until the flames were at your door. And later on, the bitter rains brought on a landslide so hard to fight a foe you've never seen before. Like a battle scar, laugh at my superstition, dance upon the crack. Sometimes I wonder where it is you think you are. Sometimes I wonder if you're ever coming back. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow, I promise you there'll be 10,000 better days. I do believe that you believe the things you thought you heard and saw, the things that made your heart beat like 1,000 drums. If we can only keep you safe until tomorrow comes. I know it's so hard to trust a pathway made of crumbs. We'll show you the way.
thank you, friends, so much for sharing
you.
another
Thank you,
Sunday
Toro.
with us. And please take care of yourselves, and please take care of each other, and have a great week. And we will see you right back here next Sunday
More requests?
with more of your requests. 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and all the clocks will have been changed, so we'll be back in sync again with everyone.
Yep, around the
It was a couple
world.
weeks of uncertainty. Anyway, take care. We love you, and we'll